Transformers fans, welcome back to our continued series of exclusive leaks on the unannounced upcoming game known as Transformers Rise. As always, sit back, gear up, and oil those pipes. This one's going to be a bumpy ride. Hello Autobots and Decepticons, I'm your host RoboGamer1HD. First, I'd like to spend some time and thank everyone for the kind words of support and continuing to get the word out by sharing my videos to other TF fans across the world. My previous video was the start to our exclusive leaks here on my channel. As we continue with this series, you will hear information never before told to the public regarding the game's development and timeline synopsis. Today we will be showcasing Transformers Rise storyline. But before we begin, please take some time, like the video. If you'd like to support my channel further, please smash that subscribe button because hey, you might just enjoy the content I have to bring to fans like yourself. And if you want to know the moment my next video goes live, you can ring the notification bell to find out what kind of games I decide to play next. Following information comes directly from my confidential source. Now, let's push the hands of time into a distant future. From the 2017 documents, let's recap. Many years in the future, the Aegis weapon, a massive alien superweapon, drifts into the Sol system. The Autobots and Decepticons wage a fierce battle over control of the derelict weapon. The battle ends in a massive explosion, decimating both factions. Transformers forces and shattering the Aegis into massive shards. The shards rain down onto Earth with a devastating impact, instantly the land where they fell. Now, with combined fate of the Transformers and humanity threatened, the Autobots and Decepticons must band together. That ends our recap. Now, let's talk about the new story details. Our story starts in a distant future, not one we are familiar with from comics or movies. We are stepping into a much darker world for Transformers that we have never really seen before. The story revolves around a new planetary invader. This invader basically knocks out all of the Transformers offline. If you can picture it now, think of a desolate wasteland. Transformers all over the world offline, dead and unresponsive. The human race is almost extinct. However, a faction resistance team of human allies rise to the challenge of survival. In the beginning of the game, the human resistance team find our beloved hero known as Bumblebee. They are swiftly able to repair and revive him. After a few conversations between the human resistance and Bumblebee, the Resistance members ask Bumblebee to help with the operations around their base, helping anyone along the way. Of course, Bumblebee agrees to help and continues on the first set of missions in the game. Along the way, they also find Decepticons in need of help, most of which are either still offline or not strong enough to fight despite Autobots being their notorious enemies for many years. So, just as we have done with Bumblebee, we also help out Decepticons along the way. In doing so, they quickly understand that there is a bigger force than Autobots versus Decepticons at play here. And so both Autobots and Decepticons decide to join forces, showcasing gearing up against an enemy greater than them. In terms of design, Bumblebee looked like a Baja bug with more G1 incorporation infused into the designs. A bit of mix between future Bumblebee, G1, and Bumblebee movie design all mixed into one. Now, while I would like to talk about confirmed characters, we can talk about that in another video. For now, let's focus on the story. The idea behind the virus, as we saw from the leaked cutscenes, was indeed not the Aegis weapon, but a virus, almost like a parasite of sorts. We remember Ratchet had captured one of them for studying purposes. You could tell even then the power for the main base of operations was desolate and not adequate. My source continues to go on to say, over time while playing the game, players would understand it was more of an organic-like robot species that invaded Earth. The player realizes over time that there are unknown horrors in this futuristic Earth. Eventually, players will find out the main villain would be Quintessence's descendants. Their goal as the main villain would basically be terraforming Earth into oblivion, making it their new base of operations. This would somewhat line up with one of my previous videos where I thought that Unicron was the main villain. Well, now that I have more concrete info regarding the story, Unicron will most likely become an expansion storyline. Like any major MMO, when a massive patch comes down, it includes new classes, characters, mission quests, and storyline. When I asked my source further about Unicron being involved, they said, not yet. Only to then confirm Quintesson was involved. In the beginning, enemies that were infected with the virus were known as quote-unquote Twisted. Unfortunately, with using the name Twisted, it had nothing to do with the story or lore from Transformers. However, when a new writer took over, he renamed them to the Legion. See where this is going? One small bit of info regarding the cutscenes that were leaked recently. Optimus Prime was the main focal point with his message to any remaining Transformers receiving his message to meet him at a specific coordinates, as he and a small team may have found a weakness that could exploit against this legion of creatures roaming Earth. However, the recording was cut off and not complete. The small tidbits of info regarding the cutscenes I have to share is this. The Optimus Prime you see in the cutscenes is known as pre-destruction Optimus Prime, not the Optimus we will see for the very first time. Optimus will look run down, rugged, torn apart in places, indicating he's been through some unsavory battles against the ongoing virus attacking Earth. So, with that being said, that officially concludes what we know about the story so far. For me, my imagination just went wild chatting with my source about the details presented to me. Now, keep in mind that all the details in this video are subject to change. However, the core premise of the game I doubt will change much, considering certain affinities simply passed on the project to splash damage. I can only assume it continued with minor changes. After talking about that in full, I am happy that I was able to share the story synopsis with fans, or at least what certain affinity set up for splash damage. There is a lot to take in with everything I just mentioned in this video, but one thing I am excited about is we have more of an edgier storyline, taking a darker tone compared to previous Transformers games and storylines. It reminds me of the movie Transformers Dark the Moon a little. The movie hit a point where it got kinda dark. The entire city was in ruins, more grueling than anything we had seen before in a previous movie. But if you can think about the game being 10 times worse in terms of destruction and chaos, that's probably how dark this game will end up being, especially considering most of the human race has been wiped out by these Legion creatures. The more I think about it, the more excited it makes me see what this game can become. But that's just all I can share for now. Thank you all for watching this exclusive sneak peek at Transformers Rise. Hopefully it all holds true for the development team working on it now and didn't strip away too many of the best parts of the storyline. It's been my pleasure serving the Transformers community. This is RoboGamer1 HD, over and out.